Everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, the program that is focused for the foreseeable future on talking about things in the church that shouldn't be in the church. And one of the ways that we get things out of the church that shouldn't be in the church is we bring the truth. We bring the truth. And thank you, Julie Royce. And thank you for persistent truth tellers that were able to procure the police interview video of Joshua Brown, aka formerly known as Pete. And this is way above my pay grade to completely discern. So I want to say thank you. And without further ado, bring in my dear friend and sister, Vanessa Johnson. Vanessa, welcome to the program. And thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure, Everett.
We got our work cut out for us. Folks, I got to tell you, it ain't going to be short tonight. It ain't going to be short. So just brace yourselves. But for the most part, I think, Vanessa, we're going to go through this. And when something jumps out, we're going to point it out. Is that are those the rules of engagement? Is that okay? Oh, my goodness. But if I may, I'm going to just bump two very, very quick clips because for me, Vanessa, this puts this in context, and I'll just do it right now. And here we go. Maybe just make it all by itself.
I was just saying, Rachel, if you want to talk privately, you let me know.
Is somebody getting walked out?
Yeah, he's getting walked out.
Ray is.
He can still come down. I said, is this a racist thing?
Pastor Ray is being walked out,
yeah,
but not you and not me. Okay, Vanessa, I could spend more time, but I really felt that was appropriate to play because it's all connected, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that.
Crazy. So I don't remember exactly. Okay, so that date would have been around February 12th, and Daystar is still trying to control the narrative, trying to squash down. It was the hand of the Lord that put all that together because there's no reason and nobody from Cincinnati should have been there to witness that historic event. But it was a historic event where a powerful man of God, but an African-American brother they were so foolish to think that he would be the weak link that they could exercise their bully effeminate muscle on, but it actually happened, and I was actually there and saw it.
Yeah, it was horrible. I remember that. That was just stunning.
And I guess I just want to point. I think I want to play just a little bit of this. Okay, and I just want to point out, there's your players right there. There's Rachel, the wife of Pete, Josh Brown. There is Shannon Kelly, and they are the ones that orchestrated. And I just got to say, Vanessa, Rachel, whatever her, anyway, Lamb Brown. I guess everybody has to have their Lamb name in there. I think my middle name is Lamb, isn't it? Everett Lamb Gagnon. I think it is. Probably there's a. Anyway. We've got all these different shots, but you could see her as she kind of went around this like little square of exhibits, and she watched all of that play out. I'm telling you, these are the people that we're dealing with, and I just wanted to bring that to our remembrance because this was around the 12th of February, and I believe do you recall when the actual interviews with Rebecca and Jonathan Wise actually happened?
I thought that their interviews were in January, but I could be mistaken. So I think that Sylvia's may have been in January or February, but I could be mistaken. I know when Josh Brown's it was March 14th.
It was when?
March 14th.
Okay, so it would have been after the video footage. So anyway, they think we're just going to start. Well, they think they have this all figured out. I'm giving my opinion already. But from a manage the narrative and manage the crisis standpoint, it's like they think at least they have everything figured out. Is that fair enough to say?
Yeah, I mean, they run the show, right? My opinion. Hey, that's what we're doing here. Everett. These are all our opinions. That's what it looks
All
like.
are
We've been
alleged. All right. Well, let's get started. And you tell me when to stop when we need to stop. Here we go.
Oh, this is a recorder. I gotta turn it on real quick.
You don't care if we record it ourselves too, do you?
Absolutely not.
Good.
Thank you so much. Make yourself comfortable.
This guy won't tell you, he's a pretty nice guy.
Those stats look pretty mean, so. Depends on how you.
Vanessa, you had a comment about that on your video. Just comment on what did the attorney just do there just now?
Well, he established that he knows that detective because he commented and said, well, he's not going to tell you, but he's a pretty nice guy. There's no doubt that they know each other. And so, just making small talk and Josh coming in there and, that's what the detective has to make them feel comfortable. That's very normal.
Okay. All right. Now you tell me when to, I'll stop whenever you say stop, but
All right. Well, obviously I would start with, you're not under arrest for anything, you're not detained. You get up and leave at any time you want. If you need to go to the bathroom, right out that door, past the windows over there, the bathroom. Thank you. No problem. And if you need a refill or something, I can get you something, so.
Appreciate it.
So I ordinarily would.
what was that? Was that a hand raised?
Yeah.
Everything, but I think you have
Okay.
a good idea.
I was answering a comment, so you might have to holler, but go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'll just wave my.
All right.
But here's the thing, because a lot of people have commented and people don't understand the difference between interrogation and interview.
Right.
And so, if you have any questions for me, let me know. This is an interview and the detective explains it perfectly. He says, you are free to leave. You are not being detained. And he doesn't use the words interrogation versus interview, but he's not being interrogated. An interrogation is where you're detained. You're not free to leave. So he's just conducting an investigation, period. That means that Joshua Brown is free to leave. He doesn't have to stay there. And this is all voluntary.
Right. And so the detective may play by the rules of the attorney and the interviewee more than he would in another situation because he wants to basically build enough rapport that they just hopefully talk and spill their guts or spill as much as he can get. Is that right?
He has to. He has to do it that way. There's no option. It's absolutely, he has to play by the attorney's rules. And if it was a different situation, say it was an interrogation, well, typically if there's an interrogation, the attorneys don't allow their clients to be interrogated. So an interrogation likely would have been if the person didn't exercise their right to bring in an attorney, and then it would look completely different. Completely.
Gotcha. So if I get frustrated with the detective, I need to just kind of keep it because he's got to work with what he has to work with. I get it.
The entire situation. So I guess start with what are your thoughts on the entire thing right now?
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
This is absolutely ridiculous that somebody can make a claim like this of this significance with this severity with no factual.
I saw the hand raised.
Oh no, I didn't. I pulled my hand back, but I'll just mention this.
Yeah.
I said it in my video. He starts out just right away. It's all about his feelings. It's not about facts. And I'm sure that his attorney talked to him and told him what the process is going to look like and probably suggested focus on the facts, just answer the questions, because there's several times throughout the video that the attorney says, let the detective ask the questions. Let's focus on this. Can you give him a date? He's redirecting his own client. So when that happens, and I experience this on a daily basis, if I'm taking somebody's deposition and they're not giving me an answer responsive to the question I'm asking, well, it's a non-responsive answer. So I'm going to continue asking the same question over and over again to the extent that the attorney will get frustrated and will tell their client, can you just answer the question that she's asking so we can move along? And there are times that, this attorney, he hit it well, but I see it all the time. So I know where he was getting frustrated. I know what he was doing. I know where he was signaling. I know that these are my opinions just based on experience. I know that he told Joshua Brown what it was going to look like and what to expect. But in my opinion, based upon what I saw, Joshua Brown went off the script and he focused a lot on what this was doing to him, because that's what's important. Him.
Well, Vanessa, the thing is you see, I'm a few years older than you, and you wouldn't realize this, and that's okay. But see, the thing is that I grew up in Defiance, Ohio, in Northwest Ohio, and that was a General Motors town. Okay, and so yes, in the 70s, the Mustang was a nice car, but it never had a huge engine, and so in the era of the power car, in a General Motors town like Defiance, the Mustang was never going to have a chance to get the acclaim it would in other areas, because you had the Chevelle, you had the Camaro Z28. And so, okay, that's a little bit of sarcasm there. But he does that over and over and over. Well, I should shut up. Do you see what I'm saying? He goes off on these. Who cares, dude? By the way, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The unnecessary facts is what he does, because he's nervous too. I mean, I know he doesn't look like it, but that's what they do. Every single time, I've taken a deposition, they focus on unnecessary facts.
And just so the audience knows, I am not breast pumping tonight. I am not doing any breast pumping.
Nothing with no evidence, with no credibility whatsoever, ruin a person's life and get away with it? Or best case scenario, they get proven wrong and then just wash their hands and, okay, good luck, Josh, with the rest of your life. I mean, I did not do anything.
Okay.
And these guys get to watch.
So his attorney is going to stop soon, because he's going to give him some of that rope to establish that he's offended and outraged and angry, because he has to allow him to do that. But you're going to see as we go along, he's going to try to stop him from doing that. He's already done it. Okay, you got that done. You've established that, man. You've established that baseline. The detective gets it. But he continues.
He does a lot of continuing, in my opinion, but yes,
Or
absolutely.
can just spray that venom. And I have to suffer. Because God knows what happens behind their closed doors, but me, this is crazy. This is stuff you see on TV, and you think that's craziness. That would never happen to me.
Okay, I only have a couple of points down because I want to hear from you. But one thing I did notice, Vanessa, is in the process of this, in my opinion, Josh Brown throws every single person under the bus, everybody, period, total. The whole world revolves around Josh Brown. Poor little pitiful Josh. He throws everybody under the bus except one person, and that would be Joni. Is that fair enough to say?
And Rachel.
And Rachel, yeah, but she was unavailable her comment because is she breast pumping right now? Probably so.
In the airport. He's busy.
Well, now I'm living that nightmare. So
It's a nightmare.
Well, Garcia, some of his anger erupts now has gone to a whole new level. He gets stalked at a gym, people taking pictures of him. He has a band in Australia he's an integral part of for years. And they're now getting messages that, hey, y'all got your pedophile messages? So let's let him ask some questions, okay?
Well, actually, and you mentioned the gym thing, so Attorney High School let me know about that on Saturday.
Okay.
So I happened to be up here on Saturday, so I did a little bit of background on this guy. It's Nelson, I think his last name.
There was a woman that took the picture.
Now, Vanessa, I know that we have a lot of ground to cover, but is this the picture that he's all worried about?
Yes.
Okay, that's just it. Okay. I mean, but here's the thing. These people, they're always telling you how many millions of households they're in. Look, you're a national television figure. Hello. I mean, Doesn't he exhibit a whole lot of wanting to have his cake and eat it too all at the
Yeah, it's a control thing. Yeah. How dare people do things that make him upset and anger him and, you know, ruin his life and spew their venom. And I mean, it's a control factor.
There was that's right, there was a thread on social media, like the vague threads on social media.
They weren't vague on social media. It was
Okay.
very specific. He's got a person that is sent after me.
Okay.
And
Everett, just to clarify, that picture of him in the gym, there was no threat associated with that. None.
Okay.
It sounds as though he's talking about a separate threat.
He's just trying to build as much of a case of poor me, the whole world's against me, and my life has been, yeah. He's okay.
I believe Daystar's security, one of the Daystar's security guys shot him. I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And then the females went to take a picture of you at the gym.
Yes.
Okay.
Saying, I can't believe they let this guy in here
That's right.
because there's childcare
And
facilities.
you've gone to that gym, how many years, how often are you there?
Well, I used to go to the one across the road, but they built a new Lifetime
Okay.
at Westlake.
Yeah.
And so I've got a bunch of friends that are over there, and it's brand new. You know, it's kind of like a hotel.
But Vanessa, can I just ask this? So he's talking about gyms and where he goes to gym and how long he's gone to the gym and probably if he breast pumps while he's at there. But what does that have to do with if he committed the crime or not?
Well, the detective is just allowing the talk because remember, first off, he gave him the opportunity to talk. So right now they've shifted gears from how is this making you feel? Remember, he did that very general question. Yeah. Now they've shifted into him getting threats. So he has to allow him to talk. And a good detective, and I'm not saying anything bad about this detective, but a detective really has to know how to handle and know how to rein it in. You know, if somebody is going off the deep end, you know, like, I mean, I have to do this all the time. I have to bring them in. If, you know, for instance, because in my life, which is very similar to that, there's no there that's ruling on an objection. First of all, that's not something that there could be, but in my life there is. And in depositions, there is no judge. So say, you know, the other side has an objection and then they just get angry or whatever. And then they go off the deep end. You know, you're kind of, you have to figure this stuff out. So if you're a detective, you learn how to figure people out quickly. You identify people's personalities, how it's almost like a role that you have to play because based upon their presentation. He already knows this attorney. So he kind of, you know, he can figure that out. But as soon as Josh walks in the door and starts talking about poor me, he knows, he's got his number. He knows how to play it and he's going to let him talk.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I feel like the attorney could have played I realize the role. I feel like he could have had a clearer direction to write it out and get. Anyway, that's just me.
Type of setup. So this was my first day there by myself, and this woman posts this. You get a whole heap of hate. They're contacting.
Oh, I'm stopping more than I should. But what does he mean the first day by himself? Does he have his mommy take him to the gym? Like, what was he talking about?
It sounds so pathetic. It is a sympathizer. It's trying to get sympathy. I was there. Can you imagine this? It's horrible. I'm usually there with my friends. This is the first day I'm by myself, and this woman takes my photo. Okay, so she takes your photo. So what? People take photos all the time. And guess what? There's something attached to you, Joshua Brown, that's linked to a scandal that's going down in that area at around that time.
But this is the first day that his mom dropped him off by the stop sign with the backpack and his lunchbox and said, "You can do this, honey. It's going to be okay." And the first day that he goes by himself, this happens. It's very, very sad.
They're contacting friends. They're contacting my employers.
We say they.
All these crazy bloggers. All these people incited by Jonathan and Susie Lamb.
All right.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know who's contacting. That's just an assumption. And then to then blame people that are incited by Jonathan and Susie. I mean, it's just an assumption, but you know, the detective has to let him talk, but
Right.
do follow up. Do you have any names that are calling these people? Because that would go along with the threats, right? But
Right.
the detective could have thought, hey, I've done enough on that. I really want to move on to the substantive material. So
Gotcha. I said, oh, let me just say it or it'll bug me. I think that if you read the Sherlock Holmes books, there's this thing called Moriarty, where everything that goes against Sherlock Holmes that he can't figure out is Moriarty's fault. I feel that in the world of Josh Brown's Moriarty is Jonathan Lamb's fault.
yes.
Okay, now maybe that's way out there. If Josh Brown had a flat tire out on the highway today, the reason that he had a flat tire is Jonathan Lamb.
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's the reason. All right, here we go.
It's pretty incredible that you can just say these wild things and then wash your hands and walk away.
Well, I wanted to give you an update on that whole thing. So the guy making the posts online, social media, he's in Africa right now, but we looped in the FBI on that. So
Thank you.
they're looking at it. So, I'm a little hindered on what I can do with somebody in Africa, but they aren't. So not to my extent. So I just want to let you know about that. I was on my list of things to tell you. So
Thanks.
we take every threat of violence pretty serious. So if you get any more or anything like that, you want to make a formal report, I'll be here to take a report for you. So.
Thank you. Do you have a card or anything?
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
I'll get you one. I get them talking next. So, I guess, what do you know about you said that they're spewing all this venom on the media. Like, what, are you watching everything? Or are you looking at everything?
No.
Okay.
I get some updates from people. I get stopped on the street and get updates from random people that I don't even know. And so it's like everywhere I go.
On the streets, like in your.
Yes, ma'am.
This is bizarre. He refers to it as updates. Really what it is, what he describes is people feeling sympathy for him because he has to express that he's the good guy, right?
Right.
So people are coming up to me. They don't even know me at Daystar. Okay. Look, they don't even know me at Whole Foods. And they're saying, I'm really so sorry that this is happening to you. So first off, let's backtrack a bit. Do you really think, Everett, that he's not watching stuff on social media?
I do not believe that because of as long as the amount of time we've been here, the people that say that, they always are. And they sooner or later, a clue will come back. And it's obvious that they are.
They are. I mean, on The View, AKA Table Talk, they talk that with Joni and, Rachel. Well, what do you do if people are talking? I limit this and that. They're watching it. They're not getting updates from somebody. Oh, people will tell us. And that update that he's talking about, it's people allegedly, according to him, that they're expressing their condolences, so to speak. It's not getting an update. You're getting updates by watching. That's what's going on, in my opinion.
Right. Can we this is Bible Time, and thank you. Bible Time moderates for the program.
Yes,
and we don't say thank you enough. But I want to address this comment. I'll give my quick take, and then Vanessa's take will be better than mine. I understand that these interviews may be what could cause Baby Lamb to open up. Brother, my understanding is that this is kind of a sort of a typical like psychological phenomenon when children are abused in this manner, that it can just be kind of suppressed as kind of a God-given coping mechanism, but the time will come when they will be able to speak. Am I pretty close to right, Vanessa? Or
Right. And most of them do at some point. And I'd say a smaller percentage, they don't. And perhaps some of them just really push it back into the recesses of their mind and they don't remember it. But the likelihood is there. that she will recall this when she's a bit older. Likely, there'll be a trigger. Like, think of this scenario, and this is just a hypothetical. She's in college, and maybe a friend had, been a victim, and they're telling their story. I've seen that happen time and time again. And then they think about something that reminds them of what they went through. And then they think about it, and they go to a trusted person, and then they close.
I absolutely believe the Lord has his hand upon that process. And when baby lamb is ready to roar, she's going to be the roaring lioness. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Neighborhood, they're having a
Not
walk.
the neighborhood, people at church, people
People at Daystar too.
people at Daystar, people at Whole Foods. I'm so sorry, Josh, for what you're going through. It must be so horrible. I saw this and they said this. I'm like,
Ever.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people on the video that I did, a lot of people commented and said he didn't not once say anything about, wow, I feel so sorry for the child for having been through. The reason that he didn't, and it could be twofold. It could be that he really doesn't care. But my impression, based upon what I've seen, is that Joni and Rachel and Josh believe that nothing has happened. Joni, Rachel, and Josh believe that Jonathan and Susie concocted it all. And his attorney even uses that term, concocted, because at one point Josh was word finding. And so that, in my opinion, is what's happening. And it explains why he has never expressed any sorrow or concern for the child, because I believe that he believes, or what he's purporting is that it never happened. Not that some other dude did it. It never happened.
Right. And then I'm going to throw my wrinkle on there. I'm going to take everything that you just said and agree with it. But yet I'm going to say this. I believe that they believe that it never happened because Joni knows that it happened, but has decided to tell herself the lie that it didn't happen. And I will tell you why I say that. I will never forget. Jonathan and Susie, we were at a restaurant, I think, but when Susie Lamb looked at me, and I don't know if I know that I doubled down and re-asked. Joni Lamb would take Susie and they'd be away for a few hours while Joni is grooming, mentoring, whatever. And then Joni Lamb would tell people, oh, I was out getting my nails done. And she knows full well she wasn't getting her nails done, but she is a practiced liar.
Right.
And so I am agreeing with you, but I think that Joni knows that she's lying, but she's trying to believe that she's
right.
It's bizarre.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So we know she's a liar. And what else? That's more important here, but not more important than what you just said. What I'm saying is important in that context. Susie said that when her child outcried, then they brought the child to Joni upon her request. Yeah. So we all know that Joni knows what the child said. There's two people that know what the child said, Susie and Joni. Joni is claiming that the child didn't tell her, right? That's a lie. Right. Can you just imagine? Remember, did you watch the videos of JW and Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, there was a look, at least in Rebecca's eyes, when she was inquiring of the detective at times. Can you tell us? Because they're getting fed information from Joni. We know this. So if Joni is lying about getting nails done with Susie, that the child outcried to her, she's likely got them convinced that nothing ever happened, and that's a way for her to cement in the minds of Rachel and Josh that Susie and Jonathan are liars, right? To say, oh, Susie's claiming that the baby lamb outcried to me, but she didn't. That's what she's likely saying, to make it look like Susie's a liar.
It's to me, this whole thing, when you look at this interaction with Josh and whatnot, this is just like part of the orchestrated narrative. And they've always been able to project this lie through a whole lot of people and play out a game plan,
Yes.
but it's falling apart. It's falling. And I just got to say, I'm all over the map, but I got to say, folks, remember that on the 30th of November in 2010, Joni and Marcus went on their program, then on Dr. Phil, and then on, I think it was Good Morning America, with an orchestrated lie about extortion. And Joni thinks she can do it again on this matter, except this time, here it is a year, gosh, long-winded, sorry, Vanessa, but here it is
No,
a
you're
year later, and we ain't going away, and this issue isn't going away.
right. And that's the thing. We have to keep at it because they got away with it before. What's different now? What's in the equation now? It's people that are online, podcasters, and people, you guys that are watching. You're not letting it go. And you're calling balls and strikes. You have to. We have to do that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful and a beautiful thing all at the same time. Here we go.
So besides that social media thing and the picture of the gym, is there anything else going on with that stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've, Laura, whatever her name is, she's now saying pedophile, and then she'll erase it, or edit it, sorry, and say alleged. But and she'll put my picture up, and then she'll edit it and take my picture out. I mean, this is like, they're trying to assassinate me, character-wise. All based off Jonathan and Susie's baseless accusations.
There's Moriarty. It's all Jonathan and Susie. Anyway, by the way, has Laura-Lynn ever put his picture up, then taken it down, or said his name? But I tell you what she has done is she has lived rent-free in this guy's head for quite a bit.
Nothing happened.
What was your relationship like with them before all this stuff?
It started off great, and then unbeknownst to me, they thought I hated them or something. Is some stuff they've said that they thought I didn't like them or something, and then, but they were still nice to my face, so I thought everything was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This is an area that I would have delved into if I was the detective.
Okay.
I would have delved into this because you really have to figure out what is the catalyst, at least in his mind, even if it's not believable. You really have to kind of get that down. Another thing I forgot to mention, and I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but he has a habit of slightly nodding his head.
Yes.
And he's not saying anything, but he's keeping eye contact with the detective and doing like this. He has a habit of doing that. And so I'm not a body language expert, but I deal with stuff like this all the time. Somebody's trying to do that. They're really working at trying to convince you of something.
I did notice that in your video, and I made myself not. Vanessa, I've been on this Robin Bullock thing.
I know.
And I could tell you, I could so easily grab dozens of clips of right after he tells you that Adam sat at the right hand of God. He'll look at everybody and go this.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say the most crazy, outlandish things, and then look at people and just kind of do that.
I didn't even pick that up with him, and maybe I didn't see that, but that's very good. That's a good observation. When I saw it with Josh Brown, it reminded me of Bill Johnson, because Bill Johnson does that a lot. And perhaps this is something that people should start to be aware of, as a potential red flag, not in and of itself that, oh my gosh, beware of that person because they do that. It's something just to consider, because if it's coupled with other things, then maybe you can make a decision that this person might not be so believable.
Exactly. Woo, woo, woo. We're taking this apart more than we're letting it play.
And everything was great. And then we grew more distant. And then...
So put a time frame on that. You came to the family, got married when? What year?
That's a good question. You're putting me
You
on.
were there, I wasn't.
My wife's going to kill me if I don't remember.
Yeah, she's
We've been married around 8.5 years. So
back around 2016, 2017 is what we're.
2016, 2015, 2014.
That's when it came into the family. So for his benefit, at that time, things seemed normal.
At that time, Jonathan said, and it's on record somewhere, that he couldn't think of anyone better for his sister, and that I was incredible. I would, during.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, this is the first area where he promotes himself, so to speak. He calls himself incredible. So he takes an opportunity. You know, it's clear that the attorney is telling him, for the benefit of the detective, this, and that, tell him this. And so he gives an example to self-promote and says that, and he uses that example as when he met his daughter and that Jonathan allegedly said this. Only Jonathan can rebut that. But if it happened, it happened. It's no big deal. And Jonathan, that would give more credibility to Jonathan, thinking that, yeah, I mean, I really did think that he was. But it's funny that he remembers that. He can't remember some things, but he remembers that because it lifts him up, right?
Oh, he likes to he likes to toot his own horn. Yeah, he likes to appraise his own real estate. Yeah. And you're right. He does do a lot of that, an awful lot of that.
Layovers,
And he is incredible.
During layovers, so we'd have lunch. You know, if I had like a 3-hour layover, we'd meet at a restaurant, we'd have lunch. One day he brought Israel, and Jonathan's not good with kids. And Israel was making.
Okay, this is just too easy. But see, that's and Jonathan's not too good with kids. Well,
Right.
how so he throws everybody under the bus, just except he never does that with Joni.
Never with Joni, never with Rachel. And if you think that the detective doesn't have his number by now, then you don't know how this works. The detective absolutely has his number. He's seeing this play out right in front of him, just letting him talk, you know? I mean, I would have liked some follow-up. I would have liked some more direction. And when we get to it, I'll say that. But it's helpful actually to have the attorney there, because the attorney is trying to get that timeline and redirecting him to focus on the facts.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the attorney, but at least he's trying to be an adult. And by the way, see, here's the thing that people don't realize is that there was a period of time where the Craig power play, was the 8-track player of choice, but then the cassette decks begin to challenge. I'm sorry. He throws so much interference and stuff over there that it's like, who cares about layovers in Nashville and lunches? And he said, and what color tennis shoes were they wear? A
big mess across the table, and apparently I was great with it.
You're the one that straightened it out.
Well, not straightening it out, but just like it didn't faze me. It's just like, hey, you know, he's a kid.
He's great and he's
He's gonna
incredible.
make a mess. It's okay, man. Like, you know, it's cool. You know, just let him be a kid. Like,
Yes.
wow.
That's another area where the attorney's like, this is my opinion, but I've seen this happen. He knew that he was going to elevate himself, that he knew his client was going to do that. So he goes, you figured it out. And he's like, no, I'm great. I'm great at it. His attorney, I know, is not happy with this. There's no way.
Yeah, but he's great. He's incredible. And he's the perfect one.
Amazing.
And that was
Started out as a good relationship.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Phenomenal relationship. And then it went south. I didn't know it was going south. My wife didn't know it was going south. But the thing is, Jonathan and Susie changed their story all the time. In the media that I know of, I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am.
You see how he changes? So he says that he's talking about this relationship. This is the second time he's saying that it went south, something happened, he doesn't know. What happened? Just get that out, you know, just what? I would even take just whatever. And if he tries to go further, I would just, you know, redirect. But then he takes that and he starts going off with Jonathan and Susie changing their story 3 times. And Everett, I forgot to ask you, did you watch my video? I'm not putting you on the spot.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Okay,
I did.
It was long. But, you know, what he says has no substance or merit because They didn't change the facts of the substance of what happened. Yeah, you
Right.
add in some people being there that really have nothing to do with it. That doesn't change the allegation. He's couching it as if they're changing the accusation or allegation. That never happened.
Right. I can't say it better. He threw out so much mudsling. And by the way, and if you had Kreger rims on a 1968 Camaro V28, I mean, it was like it really did justify leaving behind the factory rims, especially in that during that time period. So
There's
there
more,
just
but in
wanted
the
to state
media that I
that.
know of, they've changed their story 3 times regarding different false accusations that they've said against me. I mean, they go on record changing their story. So their other stories I know will change as well. So whatever they've told you, they're probably going to, you know,
Whatever they've
their
told.
character, the fruit of their actions speaks louder than their words. Extortion and blackmail to their mother to try and
Okay, go ahead. I'm not a body language expert, but this attorney is like, oh God, dude, shut up. And
Oh, he
anyway,
is.
go ahead.
Absolutely is. But he's doing this. He speaks in conclusory terms. He's not giving the detective facts, and it's a whole lot of nothing. I'm sure I've seen people that say that. That's right. I mean, I've done that where I take a deposition. I'm like, you're not telling me anything. So we're going to start again. You're going to listen to my question and listen to it. Only my question. Only answer that what I'm asking you, so that we can move along. Because guess what? I have other things to do today. Do you want to be here until 9 o'clock at night? You know, I mean, of course he can't do it that way. I can, because I'm, you know, in litigation. The detective has to be very patient. He has to be gentle. But I mean, the conclusory statements, it's not factual. And you can see that attorney redirecting him to go give us the facts, guy. Just give us the facts. That's what you're here for. I've told you that before we stepped in the door. Focus on the facts.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Brown isn't so good at that. And let me just say this too. We use the term narcissist so much, and we have to, and I'm afraid I don't want it to lose effectiveness. But
Right.
these narcissists, they think they can talk their way out of anything.
Yes.
They think they're so masterful with that people just have to believe them. I really feel like that this Josh Brown probably walked out of there thinking he hit a home run, and then everybody believes.
Oh yeah. That's a really good point. I'm sure he did. And I'm sure his attorney was like, great job.
Yeah, you're incredible. You're great. You're phenomenal.
You're awesome.
get influence over Daystar, threat of a religious discrimination lawsuit, and then now me, they're trying to use me. And I find it disgusting, pathetic that they would try and use me to get to that.
Yes.
I didn't pick up on this. The extortion, the threat of that lawsuit, that wasn't disgusting. None of that was. But them trying to use me it's all about me.
It's all about me. Yeah. Well, the world is about Josh. It's Josh's world. There's no question, because he's phenomenal and he's good enough. He's smart enough, and doggone it, the whole world likes him.
And I'm not going to put up with that. And one day all this will be over.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be. And he's not going to put up with it, just so as you know.
I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, it is. I'm sure that the detective was probably. It's not his first day on the job. He deals with people like this all the time. Okay. But, you know, they have to keep it together. I mean, there are times when I'm taking a deposition, I'm cracking up, you know, inside.
Yeah.
So you just have to straight face and just push through, which I'm sure the detective did.
I'm sure that he did. And it's good that he did, because Josh wasn't going to put up with it.
Yeah.
When it is, there'll be consequences for them somewhere, somehow. They will have to deal with the consequences of their actions.
Why do you think that they're targeting you? Oh, before we do that, your thing changed colors. Is it still recording?
Yes, thank you. I don't know what it's done. No, I thought it goes to like a.
I saw it turn black then white.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
But Why do you think they're targeting you?
You'd have to ask them. I can't assume. And I no longer assume anything with them except to expect the unexpected.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a very important point where he doesn't know why. Did you catch that? He doesn't know what's happening him. He's this. I think it's disgusting that's what they're doing. They're targeting me, and that's what they're doing. But he doesn't know why.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. He got caught off guard. I don't know why, because that would be a very fundamental question to ask. And I'm sure his attorney prepared him for that. He's going to ask you why you think this, why this, why this. And I don't think he was prepared for that. And that was a really poor response on his part, but beneficial to Jonathan and Susie, because if this ever goes to trial, he doesn't know. So he can't come back later and say he knew back then why. He can't do it. He'll be impeached with that statement. Remember, everything you say will be used against you in a court of law at some point in time.
And I'll just point out, this is a guy that routinely looks in some very expensive cameras there at the Daystar Network and to those millions and millions of households around the world. And this is the guy that's you're seeing he's plying his wares in the detective's office, but he's got a lot of polish by plying those wares on Joni Lamb's network.
I'm sure their reasons have changed several times.
When's the last time you actually talked to them? Or had any interaction with them?
Gosh, way last fall.
Yeah, last time at the... they moved into our neighborhood. They have a black Tesla, and there's a few black Teslas that drive around. And when I'm out the front of our house, me and my boys will wave to everyone in our neighborhood, because that's the kind of people that we are.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the kind of people we are. Do you remember
Yeah.
Rebecca? We're the caring type. We care because we care. I don't know. I mean, they're obviously not related by blood, but who talks like that?
Right. Yeah. We're the black Tesla friendly kind of people. I mean, what is that?
Okay.
What does that have to do with anything?
So where we live, like, we wave to everybody driving by. If somebody were to, let's take this aside. I don't know about him talking about this. If somebody were to ask me, and something like, and I'm saying, yeah, I'm waving to my neighbors. I know for a fact I would never say, because that's the kind of person I am. I would never say that. Would you?
No, I've never said anything like that.
And how many times did Rebecca say that? Because we care. We care. You're saying that because you're trying to prove that you're a good person to the detective. You are trying to put your best foot forward, your best presentation. Rebecca said it multiple times. It was quite pathetic. And then, of course, he elevated himself. He's great. He's awesome, whatever. But we're that kind of people. Oh, the detective's going to be like, because, it's his first day on the job. You actually waved to neighbors. You can't possibly commit a crime. Oh, we're done.
Yeah. But what Cliff Huber would do is he would buy the vinyl record, and then with his Marantz turntable, he would record a cassette tape using the very best TDK. And the TDK cassette tapes that he had custom recorded are what he listened to in the Z28. And it was just like the crystal. It was just like stellar, like compared to the there was just no, well, I don't have time to go into that, but it was the TDK was just the bomb.
So maybe I waved at the wrong black Tesla. I don't know. But I waved, as long as I'm not picking up a kid.
Do they have to go by your house to get out of the neighborhood?
No, they don't. There's
another way. There's another route out.
There's another route.
Okay.
Because yours is.
Yes, ma'am. I mean,
Did you hear the tone with his attorney? No, they don't. No, they don't. I mean, they're trying to establish when they last had contact. And Josh is trying to fun of it by saying I may have waved at the wrong Tesla. Well, you're just saying that you're that kind of person that waves to everybody, but you are intentionally not trying to wave at Jonathan and Susie. Is that what you're saying? Okay. It's bizarre. And why you would, that's not really contact. I think that what the detective meant was that, communication, what type of communication, not whether you wave to him while he drives.
Right.
It's bizarre.
Well, it is bizarre. He is bizarre.
And they're on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been working with that street for 10 years, and
Oh, wow.
I still don't know how to pronounce somebody's name in there. So.
Were you called when Susie accused a builder of looking at her inappropriately? Were you the one that had to go out there and?
Actually, I had no interaction with anybody in your family until this. So
I apologize because, well, yeah.
part of the job. I guess how's the rest of the family? You get along with them?
No. Jonathan and Rebecca, I've never really got along with them.
Okay.
Jonathan, I have probably a
Killing
less.
Yes.
Jonathan.
I mean, he doesn't get along with anybody. We know this, right? But I would have
Right.
just question, why did something happen? Just one question. Did something happen that caused you to not get along?
Well, I think that's overthinking it, Vanessa, because here's the thing. Nobody else really matters on this here earth except Josh Brown. Okay. So everybody else is a letdown. Just don't even try because we'll be disappointed. We like Joni, and then there's Josh and everybody else, you, me, and everybody else included. We just don't matter. And the sooner we understand and accept that, the better that life will flow.
Jonathan Weiss. I probably have less opinion of him than what he would want me to have. He projects a certain image, and I don't agree with it. It's not, well, I just don't agree with it. And he goes behind my back a lot to try and.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to let the video. So I understand the detective has to let this guy ramble and just give him enough rope to hang himself. But again, Josh Brown actually thinks that anybody on the planet gives a rip about what he is saying. Nobody cares. He actually thinks he's doing some good by this speech, does he not?
Yes, he's very important. Don't you know?
He's very important.
Wherever he can. And I wouldn't be surprised with anything.
The attorney's taking notes of it.
Rebecca, we started off great, and then things headed south. It's a long story, I can tell you more, but things headed south there, and it's a shame.
So
She's got a lovely smile.
Yes, ma'am.
we'll get to the smile in a minute, but didn't he say we never got along with Rebecca and JW? That's what I thought he said. But then now he's saying it started out great with Rebecca and her smile, but then, beware after that.
Yeah, I think, and I heard in your video, and you're right, that he mentions that smile like twice, but
Disturbing.
But beware after that.
beware
Because
after that.
her story changes as well.
On
A
record.
little bit too, on record. And she's just not dependable. We have a live television show. If she turns up on time, everyone's cheering.
You said on record for Rebecca, you mean?
Yeah, she's been in different meetings
Okay.
at Daystar, and she said, remember when Susie went off at that man at Whole Foods in Florida? And my wife was like,
I know this is extremely obvious, but once again, everybody else is inferior to him. He unfortunately has to let us all know what a disappointment the whole rest of humanity is. And it's just he has no choice. He's great and he's phenomenal, and unfortunately the whole rest of the planet is.
I forgot about that. Yes, a week later, my wife posted saying, the whole family saw, and Rebecca called up Rachel screaming on the phone. I could hear I was away, but I could hear someone screaming at my wife, and I'm thinking, who's that? You know, that was her screaming, saying, take down that Insta story. You take out my name. Rachel, my wife, is saying, I know, put your name in. I said, the whole family, no, you don't speak for me. I don't even remember that incident. Rachel's like, you're the one that reminded me of that incident. So a week later, you're forgetting that you told me in front of other people that Susie accused a stranger at Whole Foods for looking at her inappropriately or whatever it was. Yeah. So that Rebecca is very volatile, but she has a great smile.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, Vanessa, that whole thing that I think that went on for like 2 minutes, the Instagram to the smile to the Whole Foods to the I put it up, and then she called me and then she said, and whoa. And so I was like, wait a minute. And then can you follow that at all? Is he making any kind of sense?
He isn't, because he's trying to say that they don't get along and it went south. And the examples he's giving makes no sense. She's not dependable. And, you know, he'll throw, it's the conclusory opinions, but there's nothing of meat or substance to support it, right? She's just not dependable. The whole set is waiting on her. You know, great. Rebecca's watching this. So she sees now what he said. This is going to stir it up. It doesn't connect to, or there's no causal connection between what he's saying and why they don't get along. There's nothing. He has said nothing.
But he is phenomenal, and he's great.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough working with family and all that stuff.
So you would not believe what I have had to endure for 4 years. And I'm so glad that they went public, because now it is
I'm sorry.
I know. See, when I was by myself, I mean, I'm like laughing to myself, but I'm just trying my best, but don't make me lose it. So this is where, I mean, he's going to go back in. He's going back in for it. He's going back in. And his attorney, I know, is just like, no, because in a few seconds, you're going to see the attorney say he's going to stop him. And I know that the attorney's embarrassed at this point because he has a relationship with the detective. And Josh is treating the detective like he's an idiot. But we know that Josh has narcissistic traits, and that's what they do. But yeah, your thoughts?
Well, the thing is that it really complicates the issue is that then you had the Trans Am. And the Trans Am was a muscle car, but like sleeker than the Z28. And then if you had the T-tops, I mean, it was just, it was a tough one to make a call about. Yeah.
They continue to throw. They've run out of things to throw. Now they're going to Australia and trying to get me fired from stuff there.
So you still have business in Australia?
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on. I just thought of something.
Okay.
They've run out of things in the U.S. There's nothing more. There's nothing more to throw out. So they have to go to Australia to do it. If he thinks, because he believes in his mind, and he's trying to get the detective to believe that they're concocting this. Seriously, dude, you think that Jonathan and Susie have exhausted every single type of accusation they could accuse you of in the U.S., that they have to now go to another country? It's bizarre.
Well, Jonathan is omnipresent. You have to admit, Jonathan, I love him. But we all know that Jonathan is everywhere at once. So he probably, I didn't know this would turn out that way.
Off topic, but that flight is like 17 hours, right?
17 hours. Yeah, a little over.
Gotcha.
Depends on the wind. It can be less or more.
Okay.
There's something I was thinking about earlier.
Day like today, you get there about 3 hours.
Depends on the wind's going the right way.
Yeah.
But I guess you said 4 years, it's been going on for 4 years.
Well, whenever we're at the beach in Florida,
Yeah.
and I was upstairs with Israel, my son, and was apparently getting changed behind me, and Jonathan Lamb walked in the room. That day, whenever that was, you see, This has done a number on me, detective. Like, I got a wife and kids, and for someone just to be able to say something.
Time out real quickly. He's a Colleyville detective. He can investigate crime in Colleyville, but he's heard all this story.
I do like perspective, though.
He probably hasn't heard your version, so unpack for him step by step what happened in Florida.
You do
On
see,
this day.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, he's had it. He's just like, and he's being very kind, but he's very experienced. This is a seasoned attorney, and he's
Yeah.
going to let his client continue in that manner in front of somebody he has a good relationship with, and essentially, acting like he's stupid. He's not going to let that happen. So I appreciate that. He's a bit embarrassed, and he's going to redirect Josh. Focus on the facts.
That was pretty obvious, but I love that. It's almost like he's reaching out. He looks like he's reaching out to put his shoulder on a mental patient or something or not. Now you know what, this is what happens when you don't take your medicine.
Just
Okay.
slow.
I'll start from the beginning.
So my son was around 1 at the time. He was teething, and you have your good days and your not so good days.
Oh, okay, so you need this.
I'm good, thank you. And
Your son's name?
son's name's Judah.
Yeah.
And he was fussy. So pick him up. And he's good for a little bit, and then you got to go outside, go into another room, whatnot. Leading up to that day, Israel would talk about his city view from his bed. It was a view of nothing, a street.
I'm interrupting here, but I'm sorry. He doesn't know second from come here what you're talking about. Y'all have a house that the Lambs used to rent, a vacation home, a large home where each couple had their own little area and room and bathroom and kids and that sort of thing. So that's the setting, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have actually 4 families in there together. 4 couples.
Yes.
Okay. And then the kids and the grandkids too.
Yes.
Okay, it's a complete family compound setting. Okay, go ahead.
And
Is that a lot of setup that attorney had to do just then, or is that kind of customary? Because he had to kind of like frame where this conversation is going kind of for a long time.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can because he has a client that's willing to do it. So the attorney's having to set that stage and where they are. He doesn't really have a choice. I'm sure, again, he's prepared Josh, but Josh, he knows more than everybody, right? So he's going to do it his way. And I'm sure that they went through the story before they walked in through that door, but Josh is doing it his way. And I forgot to mention this because this was just a while back. Remember how many times this is detective. You don't know what this is doing to me. This is my life. And I've got kids, and this is just horrible. This is, every single word to describe just how bad it is on him. But then he says, I'm glad that they did this. Are you? It doesn't.
He's going to say that.
And I'm sure that the detective, he notes that. I'm sure he went back and looked at it. It's evident, he's got his number again, right? But he's just going to let him talk. And he's going to let the attorney, well, he doesn't have a choice, the attorney to redirect, because it's probably very useful and helpful, because Josh is he doesn't understand, obviously, this type of a thing. That's clear. But he also doesn't understand direction is what I suspect, is that he can't be told an instruction and actually do it, because this attorney knows what he's doing. Okay. And I'm sure that he spoke to him and told him what to do. And Josh is not. So my conclusion is that Josh either can't or he refuses to follow direction.
Right. Well, I'll just say this. I know in 72 and 73 both, you could get the 440 engine in that Trans Am, but then you could he had to make the decision. Now, if you were really serious, I think you'd have to seriously consider the Holly carburetor, because that would make a
So Israel had been talking about his city view. We would talk about the beach view. Everyone would say about the better view. And I'd be like, no, Israel, you got a great view. You know, I used to live downtown condo in Nashville, had a city view. It was awesome.
Okay, and I apologize if I'm using a little bit of too much redneck levity there, but Vanessa, here's the thing, and he's going into this like city view, beach view thing here, but isn't what he is really doing is trying to play his part in this group narrative that tried to put, remember the famous red wig episode on the View or Table View or View Table or whatever. But I guess what I'm saying is there anything generic about what he's saying, or is he trying to isn't he respouting the official story that they've all agreed on that they have to talk about?
He's starting, but he has to first make sure that he impresses the detective by telling the detective that he used to live downtown Nashville and it was fabulous. That's another filler fact we don't need, because it's in the context of talking about this city view. For Miramar, Florida, what city are you looking at? There's no city that you can see. I don't know how far Miami is, but I know it's not. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to see it from that beach. You can be in parts of Miami and not see the city of Miami. So, you know, comparing it to downtown Nashville, and why does he even have to tell the detective that? Because he's self-promoting.
Yeah, gotcha. It's hard for me to put my finger on it, but he is an extension of the narrative conversation that was played out on the Table Talk set, the famous where Pastor Ray came up with the red wig moniker, but he's playing out part of he is an outpost of that narrative. That's what he's doing right now, in my opinion.
He
So,
is.
you know, city view is great. Oh, Uncle Josh, come up and have a look. I'll come up one, you know, yes, but not now. So I kept on pushing back, you know, yes, yes, not now. So finally, I've run out of things to do with Judah because he's just, you know, teething, not happy.
Okay, I just gotta point out how ridiculous that is. You know, it just he was teething, and I read what does that have to do with anything?
Right, and how does he remember that? How does he remember that? He doesn't know some things, but he remembers so specifically, because this is just like you said, they got this narrative together. They concocted this story, and this is what they chose to say. It sounds stupid because most often people are going, if there was something that was out of the ordinary, which arguably is Jonathan running upstairs and yelling at him, it's after that point that you're going to remember things because it was so, you know, different. The things that happened that were mundane and normal before that, you probably wouldn't, but he has a lot of facts about and details about what happened before. Because remember, he's got to combat what Susie said about him following her daughter up there. That's why he's doing that.
I knew this would, and we've got to make it at least as far tonight, Vanessa. With
Okay, we're getting there.
When crying affects your memory, that one's coming up here.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was trying to get there.
Do you want to show me your city view? Oh yeah, that'd be great. You know, so we walk upstairs. Also comes upstairs. I've got my 1-year-old squiggly son wriggling around.
Now we should point out, so he's trying to paint the idea that he goes up because Israel just keeps bugging him. Come on, Uncle Josh. And then his baby is teething, and so, okay, I'm out of things, whatever. So, but then what he just said was, if we heard that right, and they didn't want to say the little girl's name, and I'll honor that, but she came up after. That's what he just said. But That's not what the housekeeper said.
Right.
That's not what Susie said.
Exactly.
So I think this one right here is coming back to bite this whole narrative squad hard in the rear end right now, because that is not what Susie said, but that's not what the housekeeper said. So he's
not happy, but kind of interested now because he's, I climb up on Israel's bed.
A bed to stretch over and look out the window.
To pull the blinds to look out the window. And then very shortly after that, Jonathan Lamb comes running up, his face is red, and he's screaming, "What are you doing in here? How dare you?" Blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Well, first of all, I'm kneeling on the bed like this. So
now see what he's doing with his right hand is is he holding the baby with his right hand?
That's what it
I
looks
mean,
like. He's reenacting what he did. And that, you have to have some truth in there. And that probably is what he was doing.
I don't know. I'm not a body language expert. I'm not an expert. Really, I'm not an expert on anything. But the Holly carburetor, I do know a little bit. But anyway, here's my point. Here is my point. When people are recounting a rehearsed storyline, a rehearsed narrative, to me, in my humble redneck opinion, that is what he's doing. He's still holding the baby.
How dare you? How dare you? I'm sorry. What? What? How could you be in here? I'm sorry. Like, what? He's like, my daughter's getting changed.
Yes.
I think that Josh is the kind of person that's just going to, I'm sorry right away if somebody says something. No, we've already seen him establish if somebody gets something wrong. No, he's not that type of person.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Well, okay, so it's pretty hard for them to get away from that. He said, I'm sorry. So is what you're saying, Vanessa, is that he's trying to put the I'm sorry out there in a different, more palatable light. He's creating a new kind of I'm sorry. Is that what he's doing?
Right. I mean, he has to agree with it because, I think that if everybody was questioned, everybody in the house, even Rachel and Joni, is going to say that as well, because they heard it too, because he was actually down the stairs and still saying, I'm sorry, according to Jonathan, if that's what happened. And maybe he decided that he was going to not, push back on that one and just agree. But he doesn't strike me as somebody that he doesn't know what's going on. Somebody's coming up and accusing him of something. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person to just be apologizing when he doesn't know what he's apologizing for, is my point.
But when he does apologize, he's phenomenal at it, and he's terrific, and he's the best apologizer that I've seen.
And I'm like, really? Like,
So for his benefit,
Now was that what I thought it was? Was that like was the attorney, when he's reaching out with touching him on the shoulder, inside, is he like gritting his teeth saying, "Shut up"?
Oh yeah.
Or am I wrong?
Oh no, that's what he's doing. Oh yeah.
Shut up. You are blowing this deal. Okay. All right. That's what it looks like.
2021 time frame, give or take.
yes.
So it would be about 5 at that time.
I'm not sure.
Okay, he can do the calculation himself, but
This is in Miami Beach, Florida. Still screaming.
time out. Here I am taking this over, and I said I wouldn't do that. You're staring in the opposite direction. The girl's behind you, over your shoulder.
I didn't know where she was, but
You didn't know she's in the room.
I knew she came up with this, but
He said,
No, wait a second. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
he said it again. She came up with us. She was already up. He said it again. I knew she came up with us. He didn't know where she was. They already talked about this before.
Right.
So
Right.
The attorney is not going to be looking at his notes if he did write any notes. He's just going off memory. And so some of the things he's going to say is going to be wrong. That is normal. And so Josh has no problem correcting him. We see it. And so, yeah, I mean, again, he establishes that the girl went up with him. And we know.
Well, at this point, I think Old Wig is having a red wig moment. Okay. I'll say it again. I think Old Wig is having a red wig moment because he just said, no, wait, no. He's just like, no, she was behind you or something. And then Josh is like, oh, I don't know where she was.
Right. Because he's not sticking to the script. They talked about this.
I don't dare back this up. Wait, that's the most I'll do.
Near my beach, Florida. Still screaming.
Time out. Here I am taking this over, and I said I wouldn't do that. You're staring in the opposite direction. The girl's behind you over your shoulder.
I didn't know where she was, but
Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Old Wig ain't as accurate as Red Wig was.
Yeah. Hilarious.
She's behind you. I don't know where she was. What did we say? We were in the control room. What we put it on a whiteboard and we talked about it. I can't remember. Okay. Oh, Vanessa, I'm talking way too much.
She didn't know she was right.
I knew she came up with this, but I've got my son.
Okay. But for his benefit, y'all have actually taken pictures of that.
Yes.
At least your wife has.
Yep.
And we were looking the other day at about an 18 to 20 foot distance from where you are to where she is, all the way across this kid's room.
If what Jonathan Lamb says is true, because to this day, I don't know if she got changed or not.
So you never saw her?
Never saw her.
You never saw her say undressed or changing dress or otherwise? Okay.
Nope. All I remember is just screaming, and I'm thinking, what the heck? Where is this coming from? Like, unload. Like, and so I'm just apologizing. I'm like, I'm out of here, right? So, like, go down the stairs, and then I tell my wife, and I'm like, something is really wrong with Jonathan. This is what happened. She's like, we need to go immediately and tell Dad and Mum. So we tell them, and then that is when I find out.
Marcus was alive at the time.
Yes, Marcus and Joni. And then that is when I find out, Detective, that they're being nice to my face. I think maybe the day before, we spent the whole day, him in my golf cart. Hey man, what's great? Like, and little did I know that for however long, Jonathan and Susie had been thinking this stuff about me, projecting this stuff on me, and still being like acting like everything.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the crime. It's the realization that they've been thinking about these things about me, and it just, did you see how it shifted? It's from Jonathan going crazy, screaming, he doesn't know what's going on, and it goes right back to him thinking, and this is where I realize that this is what they've been doing this entire time. It's just the focus on him.
Well, it's the focus on him, and then it's good to point out, and I guess there's just no way to do this quick, so I'm going to quit worrying about it. But Vanessa, here's the, wait, where were we talking about? I'm going to have a moment here. What was he just saying? I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm doing this live. Here, okay, I've got it. Let me say it this way. John, the golf cart. You were nice in the golf cart, and then you're like upset that you think that I'm like extremely inappropriate with your kid. Yes, it does work that way. The fact that you were nice to somebody the day before does not give you a pass the next day, creep. And then the other thing that I will say is this: Jonathan Lamb had been he would end up being lied to, but there was that one incident that they'll talk about. But here's all I'll say, Vanessa, I apologize, is that Jonathan Lamb, I believe, was trying to be forgiving and conciliatory. And within the vortex of a situation like that, sometimes you doubt your better instincts.
Oh,
So he might have been more than appropriate to say, look, I have to go on this vacation with you, but you creep, you keep your distance. But he was nicer than that.
right.
I think maybe that made sense. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And that's what we
I
see.
got,
People say it all
I
the
got lost there for. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. People say it all the time. I thought it was me. I thought I was being crazy. That is a normal response, how Jonathan handled it. Very normal.
Yeah. And what he's upset, what Mr. Pete Josh is upset about is that his little ability to charm somebody it doesn't work all the time.
He's great. Like, not mind blowing.
Time out just a second. Finish off the story. Jonathan comes up. He's screaming. You look back over. You don't see her.
I still don't see it. I'm looking at the crazy guy going bonkers at me.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, like, you've lost your ever-loving mind. Like, where's this coming from? Like, what the heck? It is not uncommon for any of us to be in a room together, ever.
So how did all that end? Did y'all go downstairs, or how did it culminate?
So Rachel spoke to her parents, and then they called a family meeting in the basement. And it was then that I found out Jonathan and Rebecca in that meeting acted all surprised. Like, little did I know that according to Jonathan and Susie's one of many.
Yes.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think I was just itching my nose.
Oh.
But here's another example of no facts. It goes back to this. Little did I know, everybody's, out to get me. I think we have to safely conclude he doesn't have the capability to focus on the facts. It's so me-centered. And if anybody had Psychology 101, that circle, the me, and then you're supposed to grow out of it. Perhaps he didn't. It's so me.
He seems to have this like worldview that he's entitled to know what everybody thinks about him.
Point.
And what's most important for the whole rest of the world besides him is for the rest of the world, and we would be included in that. We need to think the happy and right thoughts about him.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Blogger interviews and all that stuff that they've been all talking and trying to paint this picture of me, which is absolutely not true.
You mean you say they all been talking? You're talking about
apparently
two couples.
Apparently, because Jonathan and Susie are great at taking this much truth and building a lie around it. So, yes, I did go upstairs. Yes, I was there. But did I? Oh, so their story in the media has changed 3 times. Do you want to know how it's changed?
Sure.
So apparently, once again, I've not read the articles. I've not watched the.
You just know this.
Okay, sorry.
Who does this remind you of? I don't know what the accusations are, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. Does that ring a bell?
Because Doug Wise would rather go drinking in the bar than go ahead. I'm sorry. Who does it say?
Like
Who does it remind?
Sister, Lisa Stribling. I
Yeah.
never read any of those accounts of the 17 women who claimed that they were abused by Mike Bickle, and I don't need to. Do you remember that rant? You might not.
I do remember that rant.
Okay, well, that's exactly what's going on here. Here, listen, you don't have credibility if you're going to set the stage and say, now I don't know what it was, but they changed their stories, and I'm going to tell you how, but I never even listened to any of those stories. Okay? You would be laughed out of any situation, let alone court. So I'm getting ahead of myself, but the funny thing is this attorney's like, I look forward to defending this case. That's just posturing. Josh would never make a good witness for himself. He never would make a good witness for himself on the stand. And in fact, if I was the prosecutor, I would love to cross-examine Joshua Brown.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much. There's so much. Hey, we're getting the bar moved to the right a
I've just
little
been
bit.
told by people. So, I mean, if I'm going on record saying this, I'm saying that I have not heard them say it. I've just been told that this is what they've said. That I saw, allegedly, apparently, I saw her going upstairs and I followed her up. And we were alone.
Allegedly.
That's version 1.
Version 1.
Okay.
And no one else was in the room, and that I was caught looking at her as she got changed. Version 2, a couple of weeks later. Their words. We thought it was a non-factor to mention that the 8-year-old brother was also there. And he being me, was holding
Israel.
the 8-year-old brother Israel, and I was holding my son, Judah.
We thought it was a non-factor to mention. In other words, we overlooked mentioning it because it just wasn't all that important.
Oh, it paints a completely different picture.
Okay.
Third one, apparently, I think this one was Dallas Morning News, where Jonathan says, everything happened so quickly that I wasn't even sure if he was even looking at her. So that's a real different story, starting from I followed someone upstairs into a dark room by myself, to there were 2 other people in the room, one of whom was 8 years old and more than able to say.
Yes, ma'am.
That's where he said it. I had one of my viewers comment today on mine and say, going into the dark room. And I said, wow, I didn't catch that. He just said it. That's where it is. So now all of a sudden, did he say dark room? This is during the day
That's what it sounded like to me. Dark room.
too. So I just caught it today and I had not heard it before. So that's interesting. A dark room. He remembers that. A dark room. This is the morning time. How dark?
Yeah, they had to wait for him to finish his breakfast or something. So yeah, this just let him talk long enough and he'll.
Daddy, mummy, or Joni or Marcus, Moni or Papa or Poppy. Something bad happened, or whatever. And holding my 1-year-old son to now, well, we're not even sure if he was looking. This is the craziness, detective, of these stories. Like they're just.
Hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
So the allegation isn't specifically that you were looking. The allegation is that you followed the girl up when you heard that she said that she was going to get changed. Right? That's the allegation.
Right.
Jonathan, I don't think at any point in time did he say that he was gawking or looking or anything. I don't think that ever changed. How about based on your recollection? What do you recall?
I would agree with you on that recollection, and I would just say he's just looking for anything that he could possibly concoct on the spot to try to throw shade or throw Jonathan or anybody else under the bus. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I'm just going to put this on the screen very, very quickly. Tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern, I will be joined by Drew Bloom and Alabama Woodsman, and we will be taking another look at the Bullock controversy. Just wanted to mention that. So let me see here. Let me get back to.
It's unfair.
It's unfair.
And there's no repercussions for them right now.
Poor thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out in the media,
A lot.
and way too much to keep track of.
So what should I do? As I didn't do anything.
Well, we're just gonna go along with this whole thing, and he can guide you the best he can and stuff. And but should continue, and he's gonna be your best resource for you right now.
He's heard snapshots of this stuff, but there was another instant in a shower the year before the Florida vacation.
Fort Lauderdale.
Different home.
Yes.
Okay. And I have not a clue what version he heard. Of course, he's a specialist at investigating crime in Florida. That's all he does is look at Florida.
Never been there either.
I used to love being in Florida.
This is our joke, but he's had to listen about it. But I think it's important that maybe he hear what you remember about that and how many doors she came through while you were taking your private frickin' shower.
Yeah. So to set this up, my wife was pregnant. There was one.
Vanessa, should we stay with this or should I move ahead a little bit? I'm going to let that be your call.
Well, I mean, you can move ahead. Let's just say this. First off, this was absolutely discussed between them because, you know, the way that he described this, your private frickin' shower, right? He wanted to make sure how many doors the little girl had to get through. My conclusion with this is that he's throwing the little girl under the bus, throwing Susie under the bus, and even the attorney doing that. And it really disgusts me. That part really disgusts me because it triggered me. Because when I used to do these cases and, you know, a child that age, especially, or even up to 8, you know, say that, and the defense attorney would really demean them and say something bad. And, you know, obviously an adult against a child, there is no balance. And so here's the thing with that. Go ahead, and this is how I would handle it. Go ahead and act like that in front of the jury. Go ahead, because the jury's going to.
Right.
And so like that just talked like that. And he wants to defend this because guess what? If he's still alive when this happens, he'll be defending Josh on that. And you have that type of an attitude and you're going to demean, you know, maybe she'll be an adult at that time. The jury will absolutely hate you. So go ahead.
The idea that you're trying to paint this idea that this very aggressive, 4-year-old is just, it's like finding the door. Where is, I hear a shower. I'm going to go through the door. And that would.
I don't care that you've got it barricaded. All right.
But this guy's really good with the jury. It's like taking candy from a baby. I'm just gonna bop ahead a little bit. And we may just be, because I feel
sleepover at your house with the kids.
It never happened.
What never happened that they never slept over or you never touched or both? You follow what I just asked?
Never touched them in an inappropriate way ever. Those children have never spent the night at me and my wife's house. I have never spent the night at their house. However, Susie did talk about them coming over and spending the night at our house. It never happened though. It was always something that she would, not a lot, but mention. Susie's got a lot to answer for.
You said she mentioned it, like you mean talking about the media stuff.
Now that's about the most threatening he has sounded towards Susie so far, isn't it, Vanessa? Susie has a lot to answer for.
Yeah, and that they've got consequences, and I recall him saying it earlier too. But he throws that in because he likes to flex and you know that's that posturing. He's a big man, but you know that's all it is. It's just these very shallow words. You know, remember he's not going to take it, Everett. So that was on.
He's not
going to take it, detective. So March 14th, you weren't going to take it. It is now November. What's the date? 17th is what I don't know what today is. Whatever we're in, November. So what are you going to do? Your option is to sue them civilly, but guess what comes with that, Everett? Discovery. Would never sue them. And what is he going to sue them for? They don't have anything. They lost their jobs.
Yeah. And Vanessa, have we gotten to the part yet where he says, I'm so glad this is out in the open, or is that yet to come?
Sorry, he said it way back in the beginning. He said it.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah,
okay.
We both did, but I remembered he did.
It runs together. Mm-hmm. And I have one other question. Who's paying that attorney?
Probably Daystar, but that's my opinion. I don't know if it's him. Well, that's his personal criminal attorney. That's not, I mean, I don't think that that would be a Daystar attorney. That's a criminal attorney. It's not one of their in-house or one of their retained for, business. He doesn't seem that to be. He seems to be a criminal attorney.
But just opinion, Joni's not out of the loop. I mean, she kind of got her fingers in this, or he's on his own with this. Okay.
No,
She back in the day would be like, "Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. You should do a sleepover." The sleepover never happened. Never happened.
Circling back to 2021, you said there's a family meeting.
Yep.
Who was all in that family meeting?
Marcus, Joni, Rachel, my wife, Jonathan, Susie, Jonathan Weiss, Rebecca Weiss. I believe that was everybody. It was very traumatic for me because I had gone from being the favorite uncle, not knowing any of this craziness, to now being accused of trying to look at someone getting changed.
Should we have a moment of prayer for Josh Brown? What did he just say? This is very traumatic. What did he say?
do it again. Do it again.
All right, okay. I got to be real careful because I'm at 30, 50. It's not quite as. All right, we'll try this.
The sleepover never happened. Never happened.
Circling back to 2021, you said there's a family meeting.
Yep.
Who was all in that family meeting?
Marcus, Joni, Rachel, my wife, Jonathan, Susie, Jonathan Weiss, Rebecca Weiss. I believe that was everybody. It was very traumatic for me because I had gone from being the favorite uncle, not knowing any of this craziness, to now being accused of trying to look.
It was traumatic, Vanessa, because I don't know if you remember, but I think it was the February 2022 issue of Favorite Uncle magazine, and Josh Brown's picture was on the front of it.
Yeah. And now they're taking that award away. How dare you?
And it's going to leave that ugly stain on the wall. And it used to hide a nasty stain that's lying there. But we're not in love. We're not. I don't know. I got this 70s thing going on.
He's asking about the family meeting.
Yeah.
Where was it? Who was there? What was discussed?
It was in
Did you have Old Wig had to jump in there and really get him back on the
maybe the basement, but it's not a basement. But it
Was it like a common area?
like a games room on the same level, I believe, as the garage. But I don't play pool. I believe it had a pool table. I don't play pool. I'm terrible at it. It bothers me. And it has, that other game that you throw stuff down along.
Shuffleboard?
I think that might be it. It's an American game.
It's a game room downstairs there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vanessa, I watched all of this, and then we're doing this program. This guy's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to give open up the door for substantive commentary.
Right.
But you're watching. This is bizarre.
It is. And the interesting thing is, because we're covering this stuff, very similar to Joni, where they just have to insert their opinion about something, remember when Joni was talking to Marcus Rogers?
Yes.
And she's going, and we're talking about the beach view I personally like the beach view. Nobody asked you, and nobody asked you if you're not good at pool, Josh. Nobody asked you. It's a weird thing. I don't talk like that. Do you talk like that ever? Do any of you guys in the chat, do you guys talk like that? I mean, who talks like that? It really is bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre.
And I know that Brunswick is the #1 name for bowling in a bowling alley, but are they really the ones that make the air hockey tables? This is just flat out. This is just bizarre. This, oh wow, this
So
is weird.
we had it there, and it was like my world got shattered that day, detective. It was like getting punched in the back of your head with no warning.
So what was exactly discussed in there? Like, 'cause I think you said that, because after that incident at the City View thing, with Israel in the room,
And my son Judah.
yeah, and your son Judah, but like what was discussed in that meeting?
Downstairs. I don't remember a lot of it because I was crying a lot because I couldn't believe that anyone would even think, let alone say.
This is so serious, and I apologize to the audience
Because
that I'm laughing, but come on.
I mean, I can't remember it because I was crying because I can't believe you're saying that you don't remember, but you are remembering that you were crying because you couldn't believe that somebody would say that about you. You are remembering. He contradicts himself constantly. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's
I
saying,
absolutely. And if the stakes for a meeting like that are incredibly high, this is a family showdown. You are being accused of something, and isn't that the kind of thing that is indelibly imprinted upon your memory? Is it not?
right?
This guy is bizarre, and his world was shattered that day. Well, I guess that's a good reason to cry, because it's making me cry. I can't stand it. It's just too much.
Like, oh, like we don't feel comfortable with him anymore. He was upstairs while she was getting changed, and I was thinking, what? Like, I didn't even see her getting changed. I mean, it was just like a shock to the system, like so foreign to me, and it's just like the whole
Yes,
world was
ma'am.
just like,
The shock is that he's realizing that they think of him in a way that he can't imagine anybody would think of him. That's the shock to the system, right? Because he's claiming that he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Vanessa, I'm looking at this meter, and we're like halfway through, so I don't know if I have a plan for that, but because I mean, we knew this was going to be long, but we can't be here forever. But
We can put it up, Everett, if you want to just do like one more clip.
well, there's a couple things. Maybe that's a good idea, and maybe we'll just do a random, like, just move it ahead, because I really would like to talk about, oh my goodness, the Miss Denise Boggs, and like It's Under the Blood, and the whole thing with Debbie Linhart. I don't know exactly where that is. I could have had a better idea where it was time wise, and I can actually see in StreamYard the time better.
But we can
But
talk because I
go
think,
ahead.
did Laura-Lynn say that she was going to have them come back on? Did I hear that? I can't remember.
I've gone through her episode and your episode and Pastor Ray's episode and the Julie Roy. I've gone through all of that, and it's a lot. So
Yeah,
I don't remember. My memory's been shattered.
yeah,
So
it is hard.
it's been traumatized.
Yeah,
Can I say a couple things before they escape me?
yeah.
This is a guy. Okay, first of all, a couple things. We put a family and group family photos on Daystar, and we're all happy, and the gospel is going out, and I think the Lord has created new planets for there to be more homes for the Daystar message to go out to. Okay. But when you see that these great family shots. This is what you're really looking at.
Right.
You're looking at a bunch of, did Rebecca and Jonathan Wise have great things to say about anybody?
No, no, they consider themselves the bottom of the barrel. And it is, I feel really bad for Jonathan and Susie,
Yes.
and I said this in mine, that every family has some level of dysfunction. It's just going to manifest differently, and the severity, the depth of it, whatever. But this is really bad because, I mean, there's multiple reasons, but one of them being that they're running this organization and they are purporting themselves to be this Christian loving family, and they're not at all. It's fake. It's so fake. And now think about it. I mean, I can't imagine that Rebecca and JW knew what Josh said in his interview and vice versa, but now they do. So they already didn't like each other, and so they're going to have to deal with that. But then, anything else that comes out of that. So that's really difficult. It's not going.
They already couldn't stand each other, but now they know it. And I just got to say this too. I guess we're trying to wrap up here. And Vanessa, thank you very, very much. I know you've had a very, very busy week, and this ain't helping any. But maybe I'm just going to go there, and this could be, I think, a whole episode or a series of episodes. Jonathan and Susie are so the real deal and so incredibly normal. They're incredibly normal. And I'm becoming of the opinion that is like a miracle of God in and of itself. For this reason, I'm not so sure how healthy emotionally and psychologically it is to put a kid on television from the time even before they can remember and expect that child to grow up normal.
Yeah.
Somehow we have thought that that's a cool thing to do. I don't necessarily think I'll just say there, I maybe I'm digging a hole and I won't be able to crawl out of it. I know how to crawl out of it. I'll say this and then ask you what you think of it. Do you think that like Joni Lamb and others that do this, that use their kids as Christian stage props? All right. Did they ever sit down with a psychologist or a child psychologist and weigh the pros and cons? Is this really the best thing for this child of ours that we want to raise to be happy, normal, and well-adjusted? Do you think they ever even did the math on that, Vanessa?
I can't imagine that they would have, just based upon what we've seen of them, but we'll never know. But a good parent, you would think, would do that and consider that. You've got to balance that out and count the cost. But, if their focus is on their business that they're building, and this is something just like you called it, a prop, and it's going to help that business, that's how they're perceiving it to help. They're not, why would they consider the child's well-being? It's unfortunate, and I don't know, but I'm just thinking perhaps they didn't. Perhaps they never considered that.
I think Jonathan was very, very fortunate to find Susie Lamb, who came from a really normal, real Christian family. And I don't know anything about Jonathan Wise's upbringing or anything like that, but they're just totally normal people, and thank the Lord. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Say one thing so that when we're leaving this, because people, if you want to go back, if you haven't finished watching it and you do, notice that this is up to everybody is a jury, right? You guys are the ones out there figuring out what you're going to, it's up to you. Notice if somebody is answering a direct question. Jonathan and Susie would answer direct questions in every single interview that they did.
Yeah.
Rebecca and JW did to certain extents. Of course, they added the filler and the unnecessary facts. They did that too, and they did the bolstering. Okay, they did that as well. But they're markedly different than Joshua Brown. Joshua Brown,
yes,
for a question directly. He just can't do it. I think it's more
Right.
he refuses to do so because he's the one that has to be in control.
Yeah. And the Craig power play was the dominant 8-track in Defiance, Ohio. But I'm not sure that they were able to capture the momentum over into the automotive cassette market. And so there is that. All right, let's do this, Vanessa. What we're gonna do is it's almost like spinning the wheel. We're
Yeah.
gonna move ahead and we're gonna take apart. I'm at 3250. Let's just go to, we'll just go to 42 minutes and let's just see what happens. And I really appreciate it. And folks, the Julie Roy's on YouTube. You can find this. Most people have. And I think it is a collective exercise. We're just trying to discern and just absorb. And what'd you say, Vanessa? We are the jury. Is that what we are?
We are. I mean, because this isn't going to a court. So this is the stuff that's out there. It's not going to a court at this time. So everything that's out there, it's up to us to decide what we're going to believe. We have to exercise our critical thinking, our discernment.
Okay. Well, we're going to critical think on the 42-minute and 4-second mark. And here we go.
I believe it's called a forensic something.
Talking about Debbie Linhart.
And I said, fine, let's do it. And she's like, well, Josh, you do know that this person's job is to put people away if they're guilty. I was like, great. I've got nothing to hide. Like, let's the more we can do to establish fact from fiction, the better. And so she had to come. I said, do you want just me? Or would you like Rachel in it as well? Denise said, she'll let us know. Denise said, you both. So we both were interviewed. And at the end of it,
Vanessa, do you know if that holds up with what Laura-Lynn has been able to interview Denise about? Did Denise or with Debbie Linhart, was she wanting both of them present? That's very hard for me to believe.
I don't know if whether Debbie or Denise said that. I don't know. We would have to check. But my impression was, based upon my recollection, was that Rachel and Josh came together and they're the ones that wanted to be together. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So he just said that Denise said, I'll check with Debbie. And she says, both of you. I don't know. That's why I think follow up with both of them by Laura would be really, really helpful.
Yeah. I placed a call to Debbie Linhart, but her phone is probably blowing up. But if you're a forensic counselor, when I spoke with her a little over 6 months ago, she is a forensic counselor. I don't believe a forensic counselor wants to cloud the effort by having two parties there, one that can run interference for the other.
Because the forensic counselor, they anticipate going to court. So they're going to want them separated. Just like I made that comment in regard to Rebecca and JW being there together. Another thing that he said that it just reminded me, he said that, oh, she can put you away. No, she can't. She's just a counselor. She can't do anything. She's not law enforcement and she's not a prosecutor. So
Exactly.
talking about. And
we're going to finish this little sec. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's telling a detective this. That always cracks me up when somebody that's not in law enforcement and not a lawyer, they're telling you what she can do. It's fun. It's fun.
How it works. This train of thought, let's pray that. Well, hey, I think we did a good job. We were phenomenal.
It sounds like this is a big family feud, fueled by competition and jealousy. And there's, from what she said at the time, there's nothing here. So we're good. I'm sorry, Josh, you had to go through this. And then Denise walks her out to the car, comes back, and I say, can I have that in writing, please? She's like, sure, I'll ask her for writing. She shouldn't have a problem with that. I don't get it. And then Short time later, I follow up. And she's like, I'll follow up with her. And she's like, oh, no. She's not going to put it in writing unless you fly back out and meet with her again and sign some, some forms and all that. I was like, okay, let's do it. And she's like, no, I advise not to because, quote unquote, it's all under the blood of Jesus. And by you going back to that,
Who said that?
Denise,
Okay.
by you going back, you're going to stir things up and you're going to make things worse. Everyone has agreed nothing happened. You've already had family reconciliation. Josh, you're being paranoid. You need to let it go. You don't need it in writing. This is never coming up again. On the inside, I'm like,
Is she going to go high school though?
I was in high school. I learned that if I'm going to say something, I can put it in writing.
Okay, we're not going to go forever. Vanessa, what is he talking about? I learned in high school, if something is real, you put it. He put it in writing? What is he even? What is going on?
He's so smart because it's saying I knew back then. I mean, he's trying to say everybody knows, and I learned back in high school. If you need something, you put it in writing. That's what he's trying to say. It's silly. It's really silly. And the only way to counter or, contradict what he's saying, it's going to have to come from Debbie and from Denise. So what he's saying does not, to my recollection, does not correlate with what they already said when they were on Laura-Lynn show.
Yeah. And I will just say, because not everybody has followed every bit of this, and if you did, it's still hard to retain it all.
Yeah.
But the story is that the lie that escaped the whole interaction with Denise Boggs and Debbie Lynn Hart was Rachel being able to convince by means of telephone that Debbie Lynn Hart had said, it's all good. He's all cleared.
Right.
And that lie stood for
Years, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the problem. And that's what Jonathan and Susie were operating under. They didn't know that it was a lie. That's what's so sad.
Might have to leave it there. Vanessa, I really, really, really appreciate it. And folks, be watching. Did you go through no, you did. I went through your entire video. Yeah, after a while, this is a lot of stuff, isn't it?
And I was trying to figure out, that's how I did it. I was like trying to figure out, do I do it in this manner, that manner, break it up? It had to be the way I did. That's the way that I decided to do it. And I felt like that was the way that I was going to do it, so that there's no breaking it up or taking it out of context or, just focusing on some. I went through the whole thing. That's how I did it in mine. And we did most of it here as much as we could, but there's a lot. And as you can see, there's things that I commented on tonight that I didn't on mine, because the more that you watch something, the more you're going to see stuff.
Yeah. And bottom line is, I believe that it was pressure from Daystar that got the Colleyville Police Department to close the case, which doesn't mean it's closed forever.
Right.
But in the wisdom of God, that also opened up the door that Julie Roy's working through Jonathan, Susie, and the attorneys were able to get a hold of all this. And we find out that their lies happen. For Pete's sakes, Joni, stop with the Joni jive. Vanessa, what can we be? Now, you and I, in the near future, have agreed that we would, and you are going to do the talking on this one, are going to talk about what? Give people a preview.
Tom Cassey. That one?
Yes.
So we're going to do that because that, as you know, anybody that's watching that follows that, the trial was supposed to be this Tuesday and it got continued. And I really want to go through this, and particularly about the evidence, because some people, they think, oh, he's getting away with something. No, he's not. He has 32 felonies against him. The evidence is amazing against him. I've never had a case when I was a prosecutor where there's 4 victims pointing to the same defendant. I've never had that. The most I've had was 2. And I'll tell you what, all of the ones that I've had where there was 2, guilty. But now you got 4. And one of them is his sister, broke up the family. And then you've got other witnesses that corroborate stories that the victims have. The evidence is very strong. And I never like to say slam dunk, but I'll tell you what, if I was the prosecutor, I'd be yelling that throughout the whole thing, slam dunk, slam dunk, slam dunk. And that one, the witnesses will carry that through, and the victims will carry that through. There's a lot of witnesses and there's a lot of victims. And what does Tom have? His attorney's trying to get this alibi notice. Well, you're only going to be able to do that for a couple of instances. There's 32 counts. If he's found, and 13 of them are first degree. So if he's found of just 1, he's looking at life in prison. So just because this got moved doesn't mean anything. It's just going to get moved to another day, and it will happen. A trial will happen then, or he'll plead guilty.
Well, we will go over that. We're at, my goodness, Mrs. Johnson, we're at 2 hours.
Okay.
Woo. Oh my goodness. And I appreciate it. I'm in your debt, but I want to let the Faith Life people, or former Faith Life people, we're going to cover this and be of good courage. The Lord knows what he's doing. Vanessa, I got to let you run. Please extend my apologies to your better half there. And I'm going to go grab something to eat, and we will talk to you soon. Okay. All right. God bless you. Thank you so much. Y'all, we're at 2 hours. Thanks for hanging in there, folks. The Lord is good. If you can join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I am really excited to have Drew Bloom, who will be on for the first time, and the shy and retiring, but trying to get over it, Alabama Woodsman on. We will be on at 8 o'clock Eastern. And we will be talking about the Bullock controversy. And so until next time, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio. God bless the United States of America and all of our dear friends around the world. Good night, y'all.